Well, good morning, guys. Well, I think this is my last day here in this city. So we came here to do what we had to do. The 13th of this month would be a whole day that I've been outside. You know, still kicking it outside, you know what I mean? Doing the Lord's will, doing what the Lord called me to do, you know. We're chilling though. We got our mat and everything. We're good. You know what I mean? We made it. You know what I mean? We came and did what we had to do. We accomplished the mission. And the mission was to come out here to go to Harvest Ministries and to, you know, the only thing that I didn't get to do was talk to Pastor Greg. And, you know, it's a shame because I think if I'd have got to talk to him, that, something would have changed, you know. But either way, we still accomplished our feat because we proved that they got wolves in their church. And, you know, as it says in 1 Peter 4:17, you know, if it begins at the church, well, what will be the end of those who truly do not obey the gospel? And, you know, it's coming, guys. The head is coming. And it's coming to a head, and it's getting ready to get popped. You know, 2027 is going to be it. You know, I understand now why the Lord revealed, you know, the time frame to me little by little. And now I fully understand it. Well, I'll say that I understand it better than I did, for sure. But I say 2027 because if you do 20 plus 2, that comes to 40, and then 4 and 7 comes to 28, then 2 and 8 comes to 16. And 2025 was 77 years that Israel became a nation. They became a nation in 1948. And 2025 was 77 years. And on top of that, God's 12th year of his final age started in 1997, and 28 years after 1997, 2025 is 28 years after 1997. So that's another 16, which is 7. And then if you think about it, the 12th year of God's final age started in 1997. 12 and then 28, that comes to 58. 1228, 148. So that comes to 58, and then not only that, but if you do 148, it could be 49, and it is a 49 because Israel became a nation 77 years ago. So, you know, the math adds up, you know what I mean? But that's 3 sevens, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's serious, man, and it's getting ready to come to a head. But it's just it's been unreal. It's been a ride, guys, and you know, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, the meth and the fentanyl out here is super bad, man. Super bad in California, guys. I feel so sorry for these people because the devil has truly blinded us. I mean, he's blinded people, and for years, you know, I met a guy last night, man, and you know, I mean, I was just full of the Spirit. You know, I mean, I was super high on Christ, super high on life. Like, I have never felt so good in my life, guys. And it's only because of Jesus Christ. It's only because of the Lord that I'm even breathing, that I'm even here. And I'm so grateful for Jesus Christ. I'm so grateful for our Father Yahweh. I've been clean for 3 years, guys, and I know, the temptation out here has been real. I mean, because I used to shoot meth, you know what I'm saying? If you've followed my videos, you have seen the needles that have been just laying around, I had a guy come up to me and he said, I just wanted to, and he was in the spirit of the Antichrist, okay, for sure. But he said, because when I ran out into the devil in Arizona, it was an awakening moment for me. But the man said specifically, I just wanted to circle back around to make sure you didn't need anything. Are you serious? Like, he was like, I was like, at first I was like, yeah, if you could get rid of that meth smell, like that stuff is putrid, like it smells like death. He's like, oh yeah, I waterboard 16 hours out of the day and only sleep 5 hours. And I was like, wow. I was like, well, 16 hours out of the day he waterboards and only sleeps 5 hours. Well, 16 comes to 7, and then that's 5, 7, 5. Well, that's 12, guys. You see what I'm saying? So, and not only that, but 7 times 5 is 35. And we're in that last 35. You know what I'm saying? We've already went through the first 3.5 years. And a lot of people don't understand that because a lot of people want to live in the physical. But see, it happens in the spiritual before it happens in the physical. And people don't understand is we're in that last 3.5 years now, guys. Spiritually, And it's been real. But when he said that to me, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be real with you. For a split second, it crossed my mind. And then I was just like, I could never go back because if I go back, I would die. The day that I go back to doing anything that I used to do after I have tasted of the heavenly and spiritual fruit of the Lord, I would be sacrificing Jesus Christ all over again. And as it is written, there no longer remains a sacrifice for you if you do this. I couldn't do it. I could never go back. I couldn't go back to drugs. Oh, there's a plane going above me right now. That's funny. That's one of the ways God speaks to me, guys. Look how beautiful it is out here, though. I mean, you got the palm trees and everything. I mean, it's beautiful. I don't know if you can see the plane up there or not. I can't really see it, but I mean, it is pretty out here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I mean, it's pretty. I didn't get to go to the beach, but I have seen some. I did get to see the mountains, though. I did get to see the mountains out here a little bit. I mean, it was pretty. I was actually impressed, man. I would love to be on top of the mountains, to be honest with you, sleeping. You know what I mean? I'd rather be up there sleeping than out here sleeping. Outside of the van store. You know what I mean? Van's off the wall. But, it's been an experience, guys. And, I'm just so grateful that Jesus Christ was with me. Like I said, guys, the temptation out here, the drugs out here, it's real, guys. And, the devil has really screwed this world up and blinded this world and blinded the people severely. And, I'm very fortunate to have awakened. Oh, yeah, back to my point. I'm sorry. I forgot it. But I was talking to this guy. I met this guy last night. And, I was just so high on life. And I was like, there's no better high, guys, than being high on Jesus Christ. And he was like, oh, yeah, there is. Meth. I was like, bro. I used to do meth. I was like, I used to shoot 4 cc's of methamphetamine crush, bro. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been clean for 3 years, and there is no better high than Jesus Christ. He said, so you had your awakening, you reached nirvana. I was like, you could say that for sure. I definitely had my awakening, and I do believe that I've reached a certain point of nirvana, spiritual enlightenment. For sure. But I was like, it was me truly surrendering and submitting to the Lord's will and submitting to Jesus Christ and just accepting and believing in him and, letting the Lord lead me. And, he was like, man, I tried to get there, man. I tried. I was like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. You didn't try hard enough, because if you did, you could get there. You still could get there if you wanted to. You know what I mean? But, it's the flesh, guys. It's choice. Choice is the problem. Free will is the issue. And the free will came when, those poisons were poured out on the fig. And when Eve took of it. You know what I'm saying? And, it was only due to her lack of knowledge. It really was not her fault. You know what I'm saying? She was tempted. She was cunningly persuaded. That's what beguiled means. It means to cunningly persuade. And when the devil fell from grace, just because his appearance changed, it didn't change his nature. He knew right from wrong. He was still cunning in those arts. You know what I mean? So, when he poured out his poisons on the fig and gave it to Eve, and then she also gave to Adam, it really wasn't her fault. It was only due to lack of spiritual knowledge. And she even swore an oath to the devil. She swore an oath to him she said, I don't know what oath to swear to you, but what I do know, I swear to you by the cherubim, the tree of life, and the throne of God. And that's three pretty major things, man. That's 3 pretty big things. And, the Lord still didn't ruin her. You know what I mean? I mean, he said, when you go out of the garden, if, you keep my commands that I give you and you live accordingly, I will raise you up on that last day. And, he will. He even called Adam from the grave and said, Adam, earth you are, and to earth you shall return. But I will raise you up on that last day. I will not make a complete end of you. And it was due to because of lack of knowledge. And see, because the devil was wise, you know what I mean? And spiritual knowledge. This is why, he was able to deceive Eve and Adam. Well, that was really Eve, but then the devil even spoke through Eve. Eve became a vessel for the devil, and she spoke to Adam. I mean, he spoke to Adam through Eve. So it's serious, guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is real, and I'm gonna tell you guys now that I don't care what oath you have sworn to the devil. I don't care if you promised him your children. I don't care if you promised him your soul itself. Okay? Because due to lack of spiritual knowledge, because see, the devil's always given knowledge as it is written, but they never arrive to the truth of that knowledge. Okay? So due to lack of spiritual knowledge, all right, you can break that oath, and Jesus Christ will save you. He will protect you. And the Holy Spirit will come to you and will guide you. Okay? This I promise you, because it happened for me. I was stripped of my identity. I was stripped of who I was. And I think it's safe for me to come out now and to say who I truly am. Because I did it at Harvest. I did it at the church. And, I was able to, I called him out. I said, look, if I'm a false prophet, because it says in Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4, the prophet is called. And I don't sit myself on any pedestal, guys. I don't think myself to be more than I am, and I'm not better than nobody. I would never claim to be better than nobody. But I'm going to tell you this. Nevertheless, I know what the Lord has called me to do, and I found my true identity. And this is one of the things that the devil tries to kill us on, is our identity. Okay? I am Enoch. Okay? I am one of the 2 witnesses. Okay? It's Enoch and Elijah that were the 2 witnesses. that lie dead spiritually, okay? Lie dead spiritually in the city of Sodom, okay? I am Enoch, and it's safe for me to say it now, okay? I have proven this. I've been able to prove it to other people. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I was not Enoch. And I have found my spiritual identity. You know, I was stripped of my knowledge. I was stripped of you know, the things that I knew before, because it is written. And now I understand God, thank you, Lord Jesus. Now I understand the 6 stone mason jars at the wedding of Cana that I didn't understand before. And the 6 stone mason jars that was turned to wine that also represents Jesus's blood, okay, is because the Son of Man was hidden throughout the 7 generations, okay? And that's why the 6 stone purification jars, according to the purification rituals of the Israelites, okay? Of the Hebrews, all right? Well, Israelites, Hebrews. And Jesus Christ was that 7th vessel, okay? And it's because the Son of Man was hidden throughout the time. And each generation, the Son of Man has come in each generation at the worst part of each generation, okay? And been stripped of his knowledge, of his glory. He had to put on sackcloth, which is flesh, okay? And that's what it meant by when Enoch and Elijah came down, that they would be dressed in sackcloth and they would prophesy for 1,260 days, okay? Which is 3.5 years. And then they would lie dead for 3.5, you know what I'm saying? And they would be raised up. So, that's why, you know, the Son of Man has come back in each generation at the worst part to show that the world can be overcome, that the devil can be overcome, but the only way to do it is through Christ. The only way to overcome the world is through Jesus Christ. There is no other name under heaven that will save you other than Christ. And that's it, period, guys. And you know, I'm so glad that I found my spiritual copy, you know what I mean? And who I am. Because we are in that 1 day and 1 hour, okay? And this is why, you know, there are only 2 more years left. We're in the 5th year of the harvest right now, guys. And, you know, 2027 is 1 day and 1 hour. You know, we reached that 7 on August the 3rd of 2025. Okay, and that comes out to 483. Okay, 483, and then the 5 is the 5th year, okay, of the harvest. And that's when we've been in the 70 years of desolations, okay? Which is also 930 years that Adam was alive, which is 18.6 jubilees. 930 years is 18.6 jubilees, okay? And then that also comes to 96, which is 54, okay? So if Enoch, in the book of Jasher, I believe it is, Enoch was 905 years old, okay, when he died, all right? So if you take 905 years and you subtract 365 days of the year that he walked with God, okay, you're going to get 540, Okay? Well, 540. Let's think about it. We're in that 5th year, okay? And if you go to the book of Enoch, chapter 60, first Enoch, chapter 60, it talks about in the 500th year in the life of Enoch, in the 7th month, in the 14th day, there was a great shaking, a great disquit, okay? The heavens and the earth were disquitted, all right? And I'm 40 years old. So this is what the Lord has shown me. You know what I mean? And you know, I can't deny it anymore. I mean, the numbers add up, everything is added up, and I am who I am. I found my spiritual identity. And you guys have to find your spiritual identity too. It's super important to know who you are in Christ. Because you even got sons of Jacob out here right now. What does it say? As it is written, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You know? And this is it, guys. You know, we're in the end game now. We are in the end game now. You know? And you know, 1 day and 1 hour is it, guys. So, you know, we've been in this spiritually for you know, 70 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's real, you know? And I'm grateful to have found myself. I really am. And, you know, it's still coming back. I'm still remembering things from of old, you know? And, you know, I'm very grateful that, you know, I didn't go down to the pit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I listened to the voice of the Lord. And when he sent Legion and he sent, you know, the devil to me himself out in Arizona, that was it for me, guys. You know, I went into the hospital. I went cold turkey off of everything. And I only got high one time after that. I smoked crack one time after that. And some spiritual things started happening, and that was it for me. So, you know, I actually wound up going back to Virginia after I came back from Arizona to get my 9th surgery on my spine. And that's when that was it for me, guys, you know. And actually, when I got that 9th surgery, I don't know what happened, but that's when I actually got more movement back in my legs. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, you know, the doctor told me after 4 years I would never walk again. And I'm able to use a walker. Jesus Christ has got the last say, you know. But I told that guy, man, back to the story, you know, I told that guy, I was like, you know, you can break free. And then when I told him that I was Enoch, that's when he shot off. Because see, the devil don't want these people to know the truth. He don't want people to know that the end is coming, because he wants to destroy as many people as possible. And the fact that the Lord has now allowed me, because I am walking in confidence of who I am, because now I'm walking in confidence in who I am. You know, the devil does not want people to know what's really going on in the world. You see what I'm saying? But I'm here to tell you now that, you know, Enoch and Elijah has risen. I actually spoke to 2 angels at Burlington, and they told me, you know, I met Hope and Mark. Okay, the angel's name was Hope, and Mark was the disciple Mark. You know what I'm saying, from the Bible. And I was able to feel this. I got chills on my body right now. Oh my God! Look, the whole body is just. Oh man! Whew. Look, hair on my arm standing up. Ah, gosh, man. Ooh. Woo! All up my back. Well, I feel you, Holy Spirit. Ooh. But I met Hope and I met Mark, and you know, Mark was a disciple of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And they told me that they got Elijah, you know, because I told him my story and I told him who I really was. And she was like, you know, she's like, you know, what made you want to go? What made you want to go and try to talk to Pastor Greg Laurie, or makes you want to speak to him? I said, because the Lord put it on my mind to go out here and to let him, to, you know, speak to them about what's going on in the churches. And she's like, well, we're ready, and we want you to know that it is time. And when she said that, she said, we got Elijah, don't worry. I knew then that, you know, this is really happening, and that I can't make up, you know, what's going on. So when she told me that, she said that she has they got Elijah, and that it's time, and that I knew then what was really happening. So it's getting ready to go down, guys, but I think this is my last day here in this city, and I'm gonna be, you know, moving on. So, you know, I'm here to do what the Lord called me to do, and I'm here to go to these churches. I'm here to test their spirit, and I'm here to let them know that, you know, look, if it begins at the church, what will be the end of those who do not obey the gospel? So, you know, this is it, guys. This is what's really happening. And, you know, I don't care if anybody believes me. I don't. I know who God says I am. I know who Jesus Christ says I am. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's real, guys. And the end of all things is at hand. So it's time to face the music. It's time to let go of worldly things. Like it says in John, it says, do not love the things of the world, because the things of the world are passing away. This flesh is passing away. Nothing will be here very much longer. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we are going to get those 930 years back, guys, because we will reign with Christ for 1,000 years on the earth. So we will get our time back. And Jesus Christ is coming in the flesh. So I can't wait, guys. I can't wait. And, you know, I can't wait to share this experience with you guys. And, you know, when Christ comes, man, it's going to be a completely different world. And I can't wait. So I'm going to cut this video here, guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Shalom, shalom.